Hey, nighttime vlog. So I'm vlogging now because I got a very inexpensive little lens that is designed, well, it's better for low light, so I'm able to vlog at night. Anyhow, this is in response to a particular user who connected with my video where I was talking about not spending or not getting too caught up in details. The sort of the good enough principle, don't tweak things into an infinitum, and where it stifles your progress, whether you're releasing software or a design of a web page or a label or whatever it is. So this is all psychological, right? Because you can look at something and you go, I don't like it, and you keep tweaking, you keep not liking it, and it's really psychological. One day you feel good about it, the other day you won't feel good about it. So you just got to get to the point where it's good, it looks pro. Generally speaking, it's good. You're never going to please everybody. I always say that to people. I said, yes, you get worried that some people won't like your stuff. Well, some people didn't like the Beatles. I don't know how many people watching this video listen to the Beatles, but they were the biggest band, one of the biggest selling bands of all time. Like number one, Elvis number one, Beatles number two, Led Zeppelin number three. Led Zeppelin, another huge band. And a lot of people didn't like Led Zeppelin, but I think they sold the third biggest selling band of all time. So, if Led Zeppelin, if you came up to, hey, there's a bunch of people who don't like your music, should they change everything that they do? Because some people don't like their stuff. You can never please everybody. Just keep that in mind. You can't please everybody. You can't get perfection. It doesn't really exist. A lot of times your perception of perfection is largely dependent on your psychological state at that particular moment in time. So what can you do to deal with this psychological impediment? Some people it's minor, some people it's big. For me, it's kind of in the middle, slightly past minor. Well, what you do is something I learned from martial arts, is you slowly habituate yourself away from these obsessive compulsive tendencies. So what I would do, for instance, is if you're somebody who's obsessive compulsive, do things that are the opposite of that, little things that are unimportant. For instance, if you're somebody who's obsessive compulsive, you probably wash your dishes right away. Well, train yourself, don't wash your dishes right away. Put them on a counter, leave them there for an hour, then come and do them. Or if somebody has to make your bed in the morning. I'm just pulling examples here. Don't do it. Little inconsequential things like that is how you slowly train your brain to sort of let go a little bit. Now, you don't leave important things like, you have to get a certain job out in time, or you got to answer client emails. That, of course, you do. But things like I just mentioned, you can come up with other examples. That's a good way to slowly habituate your brain to relax. Just kind of like if you want to eventually run a marathon, you don't start by trying to run the marathon the first day. What you do is you do little things. You run a block, you run a half a mile, you run a mile. You slowly build yourself up to develop that your body so that you could take the pressure of running that marathon. Now, the same thing, if you're obsessive compulsive, what you want to do is you want to slowly introduce your brain rather, to things that are opposite of that, so that you learn to relax. That's just my suggestion. This brings me back to, again, something I learned from martial arts. In life, when you're not sure, seek the balance, seek the middle. It's a yin and yang principle of Asian culture. Always look for balance. Classic examples. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too little. You gotta sleep. You gotta give yourself enough sleep. Not too much. Not too little. Etc. 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 You can find 10,000 examples. So yeah. So if you're obsessive compulsive, you figure like this is normal. This is totally lazy. Like my friend Iggy, he's like way over here, totally unobsessive. Then you got the totally obsessive guy. What you got to do is you got to introduce a little bit of igginess, a little igginess, laziness into your day, your daily activities to pull you a little bit more towards the middle. You may never get totally balanced, but if you're this extreme obsessive compulsive, then maybe with a little work you pull yourself to here, so that life's a little easier for you. Anyway, that's my tips. But I am not a psychologist, although I did study psychology in university for a couple of years. That's all. Bye-bye.